This is Jordan Bruner. She's an animator. She's an illustrator. She's worked in fields of advertising and music videos, and you nominated for a Daytime Emmy. Was that correct as well?
Yes.
Yes. You should tell us about that too, because I'm not really sure what that was for. But has won many awards, worked with the art directors clubs, has a wonderful list of amazing clients, and I'm going to turn it over to her and kind of let her tell you more about herself. So.
Thanks, Matt. Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm going to just start by showing a film. I do a lot of stop motion and 2D animation and illustration, but I just wanted to start by showing this short film I made in 2011. It's called The Leaf Woman and the Centaur. It's I work a lot with like paper cutouts, and I feel like this is a good representation of what I like to do. So I'll start with this. So yeah, that's a film I made a few years ago. And yeah, like I said, like Matt said, I do like animation and illustration, and work as a freelance designer at different production companies. I've made mostly I've directed commercials and music videos and short films, and worked as a freelance illustrator. And I've been pursuing different kinds of illustration and filmmaking since as long as I can remember. This is a painting I made. This is my website and my Instagram account. My friend told me I should include that. So there it is. I'm originally from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I studied animation at VCU. I graduated in 2006 and moved to New York in 2007. I started in the illustration department at VCU and switched to animation and video just because I wanted to try something different, and I really fell in love with the animation department. And I just wanted to show, while I was going through old files on my hard drives, I found this is one of the films I made in college. So this is like circa 2005, and back then it was like 480 by 360 was like the standard size. We made everything, which makes me feel super old. But I feel like I still kind of do a lot of the same kind of cutout stuff, but I'll play it. It's pretty short. For the rest of the talk, I'm just going to show various things I've worked on from the time I moved to New York in like 2007 up until now. So when I first started working professionally, I was working with a studio called Awesome and Modest, and we did a lot of animation for documentaries. We worked on a documentary called Waiting for Superman. And we also made a bunch of music videos. The one I'm going to show is one that we made for the Mountain Goats. And working with them, it was like I learned how to work with clients and things like that, and definitely practiced a lot of After Effects. And then after I talk about that, I'll talk about some of the other stop motion music videos I made, and then I'll talk about directing commercials, and then what I'm working on now, which is more like design and illustration stuff. But I know I'm showing a lot, but here is a music video. I think this was like 2008, 2009 maybe.
Crude little wooden idols and aviator shades, the trinkets and the treasures we brought back from the Crusades. Some guy in an Impala shakes his head when he rides by, but I remember when we shared a vision, you and I. Worked hard to build this altar, we made it earn its keep. The cracks across its surface, spider web while we're asleep. The sacrificial stains all spreading out and soaking through. But I remember when we kept it pretty, me and you. And high above the water, the eagle spots the fish. Every martyr in this jungle is gonna get his wish. wish. Every murder in this jungle is gonna get his wish.
So yeah, for that one I did like a lot of like gouache painting that we like scanned and comped for like a lot of the backgrounds. And here are just some of those. I for like a lot of the characters, I'll just paint on watercolor paper, just computer paper, and scan the texture, and then kind of do like a rotation, like scale flip, and use those as mats. I made this, I opened up the After Effects file and just made this movie of like the guy running. So it's usually just like a bunch of loops that all come together. There's all of his layers. There they are in the timeline. So yeah, I'll usually draw it in Photoshop, all the outlines, and then make a matte for each different color, and then yeah, use an alpha matte for the moving texture. So I usually like to color things. So yeah, the next project I'm going to talk about is the film that I showed, The Leaf Woman and the Centaur. This was made predominantly using like stop motion animation that I captured with Dragon Frame. The Leaf Woman was animated. She's just like a bunch of little leaves that I painted on watercolor paper and cut out and animated on like black velvet with like a down shooter camera. She took a really long time to animate. The other puppets were a lot easier because they had joints, but this is just a still from After Effects. So all of the puppets were animated on the black velvet with Dragon Frame, and then I comped everything in After Effects and added like 2D animation and little like hand-drawn explosions and things like that. These are just some wallpaper I made from some of the explosion acetates that I made during the project. Here are some of the puppets. Some of them had like brad joints, and others had just like little wire joints that were kind of curled around. This project I started working on by myself, and then I was contacted by a sound studio called Future Perfect, and they asked me to pitch a project for them so they could score it. It was really weird. So they actually like paid me $1,000 to score the film, which didn't really make a lot of sense, but it was incentive to finish it. And yeah, originally I had wanted to make 8 of these films, but I only made 1. But I have sketches for them still. So maybe one day. Here are some outtakes. Here's like the lady flipping upside down, some flowers. This is the background I used for the whole film. It's basically just a piece of cardboard that's like color corrected and like flipped around that I still use all the time. This music video that I'll show next is for a band called Him. After The Leaf Woman and the Centaur, I really wanted to make another stop motion animated film, and this band contacted me, and I just started working with my amazing intern, Greg Lytle, who's an incredible animator, and he really didn't know, he actually went to SVA, but dropped out. He didn't really know much animation until like we started working together, and he's like super incredible, and he figured out how to make better joints for all the puppets, and it was way more fun working on this one with him, but I'll play it.
Brooklyn, I'm broken, I'm breaking apart. Greenpoint pins down my hand, red hook pierces my heart, and my blood runs into come to a standstill. I come to a standstill. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Oh, here we are. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Oh, here.
That animation, thing about music videos is they have like really, really small budgets. So I think the whole budget for this was like $4,000 or $5,000. And at the end, the band wanted us to take out the stripping bear and like reanimate him. So we were like, sure, we'll do that if you want to pay us like actual like day rates to change it. And they didn't, so we didn't change it. But I think that's cool, like leverage that you can have where you're like, well, how much are you being compensated and how much freedom you can sort of have within a project? A lot. Like, I think we were working on it for like 2 or 3 months, but I mean, not every single day, but a lot. We were working on it a lot. And Greg, at that point, he was just working as an intern, so he just wanted to work for free and would show up at my house almost every day, whether I wanted to him to or not, which was great. But yeah, so yeah, I'd probably say like total like 60 days. I don't know exactly, but it was a lot of time. I mean, I feel like most music videos, the biggest budget I've ever seen for a music video is $10,000. But I mean, if we were paying like actual professional stop motion animators like a day rate or something, it would have, I don't know, like $50,000 or something. Or like 50,000 if you were actually, I don't know. I'm just spitting out numbers, but yeah. I mean, like a lot of commercial projects for things that I work on, the budgets are anywhere between like $100,000 to $200,000 for like 30 seconds. So this is like a 4-minute music video. So, but you know, it's also just 2 people working on it. And those projects, you have like producers, studio rentals, and all this stuff. So it's different. Oh, totally. Yeah, you definitely don't get to keep all that. This is more him stuff. So we animated this. This is Greg's head. We animated this on green paper and then keyed it out in After Effects, also using drag and frame. These are some of the puppets just for scale. These were some paintings I did before we started the music video. I'll just show this. I won't show the whole thing, but my storyboards and thumbnails can be like really, really rough sometimes, so you can see how sloppy these are.
Brooklyn, I'm broken, I'm breaking apart. Greenpoint pins down my hand, red hook pierces my heart, and my blood runs into the Gowanus Canal, where it sinks to the bottom.
For that, at least, it was super loose. These are just some more details of the paintings we made. These are just scanned materials, like we use some maps in the background. These guys are in the sky, they're just little like watercolor circles. Here's one of the puppets on the green screen. These are inside one of the shop windows, they're just scanned plants from an old book. I opened up the After Effects project just to see. This was just like 2 of the characters that have been keyed out that are in one of the scenes. These are all the scenes broken down. This is one of the scenes in After Effects and all the layers. There's lots and lots of layers. Recently I was working on something that had like maybe 12 different scenes in it, and I was trying to just work in one comp and it just kept crashing because it was just too much for the computer to handle. So I divided it into like 4 different segments. But yeah, just, yeah, After Effects keeps like a cache of everything. So if it gets too full, it just makes your computer totally, get totally bogged down. I put all my autosave and everything onto an external hard drive that has like a terabyte of memory, and that has definitely like improved the lag and stuff in After Effects. I usually will export out of After Effects, but then if I'm working in different comps for different parts of film or commercial or whatever, then I'll take everything into Premiere and do like a final output from Premiere. Or yeah, I export out of QuickTime Pro a lot too, just to get the file sizes smaller. Because yeah, out of After Effects, they're pretty huge. Now I'm going to talk about some commercial projects that I worked on. In 2011, I started working with a production studio called Passion Pictures. Mostly, I think I just wanted to work on some bigger projects with like bigger teams of people. And yeah, I was super lucky. This is the first job I did with them. It was for Linda McCartney Foods. And I think the lead designer was this girl, her name's Kim Delaney. She's super talented. And another girl named Stephanie Davidson is an amazing character designer, and a bunch of super amazing animators. I think we had 6 animators working on this job, and 1 lead compositor. And yeah, so it was, for me, it was like a pretty big team. I guess for some people that's not that big, but anyway, I will play it.
I look high.
Linda loved music. Linda loved life. And Linda loved food. She put all that love and a whole bunch of energy into creating a range of food that was kinder to animals and the planet. But above all, Linda wanted to create food that tasted great, as well as being meat-free. So she did. Today, you and your family can enjoy her food and taste the love. Delicious new chilled range, available now.
So yeah, that was sort of the first project I did where I wasn't like had my hands in like every single part of the process. Like I got to work with a storyboard artist. That was super fun. And yeah, kind of practicing delegating out different tasks. And I mean, this doesn't really look super cohesive, but I don't really think it's not, I didn't really want it to. I wanted it to look kind of collagey, but yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Elvis Costello did the voiceover, so that was exciting. I was so scared. I was supposed to like direct him, and I was not able to do a very good job. But yeah, so this job, I wish I had more behind the scenes footage, but I don't. But the next job I did with Passion, I have more things to show related to it. But this was for a Dutch travel website. And the cool thing about both these commercials, which I know now from working in advertising for a few years now, usually you get like a deck from an ad agency and they basically have storyboards for you already and kind of just want you to execute, just make it. And with both of these jobs, they didn't really have anything except like, can you make us a commercial? So we got to do like, you know, design all the characters, design like the worlds, the story, and everything. So for me, that's the most fun because I like to do the writing, and the initial concept part of it is like the most fun for me. So I don't really like just getting like a stack of storyboards and being told to just make it. But this one was really fun too.
Taking off to see what no one else will see. Surprisingly nearby, or far from home. Finding your dream adventure without any stress or bother. You didn't know it was possible, but it is. At Travelbird. Every day, new destinations and the sharpest deals for you to enjoy. Feel at home every time you visit. Travelbird, your new horizon.
So yeah, for this project, the lead designer she's a girl named Lindsay Meyer-Buke. She's super talented and awesome. And so this was, I think, like 5 or 6 people that worked on this project. And these were just some initial sketches that I did for like the robot hotel, and like this was the desert scene. This job went through like a lot of revisions, as a lot of commercials do, but these were some initial concept drawings for the main woman. These are some dogs on a flying carpet. These were just some initial references that we sent to the agency. Some of it's mine. I think this is Jack Hudson. I think that's his name. And these were some of the initial designs that Jack did for the spot. But I really liked them, but they didn't totally feel right. We had to design like 8 different versions of this bird. There he is, really little. This is the main character. Just had to design a bunch of outfits for her. So it's like every single little detail is like scrutinized. This was one of the initial robot drawings that I really loved, but I didn't get to use it. And this, I just wanted to show, this is like, I did this job with Strange Beasts, which is a part of Passion Pictures. There used to be a Passion Pictures in New York, but now everything's just in London. And this is what a pitch looks like. That if we get the job and we're pitching on it, we usually send over like a pitch deck. So this would be like the cover page. And then we have a treatment and a narrative where we talk about what we're going to make. Then we'll usually include some character designs and a boardomatic. For this job, we pitched on doing like a print campaign and logo designs. Usually I have a style reference page. We usually also have like a music reference page and yeah, just lots of different references. But usually we'll have some artwork created for the pitch as well. So yeah, those are 2 of the jobs I did at Passion. And this is more recent stuff. This was a job I did where I collaborated with another director on a film for This American Life. Her name is Bianca Gaver. She directed this film about a couple that had never said I love you to each other, but had been together for like 5 years or 6 years or something, which is kind of crazy. But I love This American Life, so I was super excited to work on this. But yeah, so this is, I don't know what I'm going to say, I'll just show it.
I heard from Maya. She didn't want to be in the video, though.
I think I'm pretty awkward.
I interviewed her at her apartment.
1, 2, 1, 2, check, check.
Where she had a cheese spread.
Goat cheese and hummus.
She's been dating her boyfriend Alex for 8 years.
It is. I think it's a long time, yeah.
They share a home.
In Wicker Park, the best apartment. We're obsessed with it.
He even asked her to share his bank account, and he makes a lot more money than she does.
He never makes me feel bad and has supported me the whole time I've been trying to figure out my own career.
He does really sweet things, like get her cupcakes after dinner.
The cupcake place closed at 7, so he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna run.
There's only one problem. The problem she wrote me about.
We've never said I love you to each other.
In 8 years, they've never said I love you once. How did this happen?
I would say for the first year that we were dating, I definitely almost said it a lot. It was bubbling out of me, and I couldn't keep it in. And
Could you feel the words I love you in your body?
yeah, no, I definitely could feel them, and I would write them out like with my finger, which is really cheesy, and I can't believe I'm telling you this, but I would never say it. Yeah.
But why not say it?
I made a pact with myself that I was not going to say I love you first, because I always initiated everything in our relationship. I wanted him to take that kind of leap for once. I don't know, I was being stubborn.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, what I think is good to show, like, sort of some of the commercial work in conjunction with some of the more personal work and things I do for fun, is that sometimes the things you do where you're just exploring new things or working on fun projects will then lead to, like, commercial work. Like the This American Life project then led us to this Google project, or like the music videos I was making led me to, like, make these other commercials where if you're like an adult trying to, like, survive in New York, it's, like, nice to make money sometimes. But I think it's like, I think it's really important to always continue to make your own work so that it kind of inspires the other work that you do. Because then after this Google job, I was working at a studio called Missing Pieces, and I think basically just because I was still there in the studio, they hired me to do this next job with them, which was for also for Google. Google Translate. They made, like, a pop-up restaurant in the Lower East Side, where Google basically took over this empty space and hired chefs from all around the world to come cook to, like, promote their new Google Translate app, which is where if you take your phone and, like, hold it up against a different language, it will live translate it for you. But this was really fun for me because I had wanted to do more illustration work and especially sort of like interior design and things like that. And through this job, I was able to create murals and design menus and design wallpaper and all of these things that I wanted to do outside of animation. So it was really, really lucky. This was part of this mural that wrapped around the entire inside of the restaurant. There it is in the background. This is the wallpaper that I made for a photo booth that's in the top right corner. And then at the bottom is more drawings the walls were kind of covered in drawings. These were some of the menus. This is the outside of the restaurant. The donut cart on the right, I actually got to paint, which was super fun. This is the wallpaper for the photo booth. Some of the menus. That's me painting the donut cart and a hot dog shirt. Outside of the restaurant. So yeah, that was super fun. It was only there for like 5 days, but those 5 days were pretty great. I just have a few more slides in here. I mean, I just kind of threw some stuff in at the end just to show what I'm working on now. I just finished, this is a new show that's coming out on Amazon. It's called Lore. It's based on a podcast about, like, creepy stories. It's a really good podcast. Oh, I listened to that podcast. Yeah, it's really good. I really like it. It was actually, my friend had told me about it like a week before I got this job, which was also really serendipitous because I had listened to almost all of them in that week. And then I got contacted to this job. But this is for the 15-second promo. This was great too because I just got to do the design, which is sometimes fun for me to not do the animation. I love doing animation, but it's kind of nice to just, like, hand off your files and be like, here you go. And so yeah, that's been pretty fun. I've been working on some paintings. This is a leaf lady I made. She's like 6 feet by 6 feet, just made out of leaves. And paintings, these are some more paintings. So yeah, I guess now I would like to start just doing more illustration work. Like I said, I love doing animation, but I kind of want to take a break. And I am working on a children's book that I just started. It's an alphabet book, and right now all I have are sketches, so these are my super loose sketches for A, B, and C. But basically it's going to be like a Where's Waldo for every letter. There'll be, like this is C, there's like a cabaret caterpillar and a cake and a chef and a clawfoot tub, and so yeah, this is narwhals in Norway. I think that's it. This is just a little animation I made with my friend Nellie, who's a musician. But yeah, that's everything. I don't know, if it's someone that I've worked with a lot before, then I don't usually have a contract, and honestly, I probably should have always been using contracts, but sometimes I never had any like horror stories, but you have? Yeah, I think after you have a bad experience, I had a bad experience very recently, and after that experience, I was like, okay, I'm never doing a job again without a contract, especially in terms of a lot of people that I know that are freelancers. Sometimes people will take like 90 days to pay you for a job, which to me is just totally crazy. And what I found is the bigger the company that I've worked for, it's like the longer they take to pay. So I think it is really nice if you can have something that you can send like before you start working that says like, these are my stipulations, like pay me within 30 days, blah, blah, blah. So then if you don't get paid, you can be like, here's my document, like you signed it. But yeah, I think it's definitely smart to have a contract, for sure. I think so. I feel like the last couple of years I haven't really done much stop motion, which I would like to do more at some point. I feel like I've kind of just fallen into the habit of doing more animation in Photoshop just because it's so much more like direct to like just get started. And so yeah, I feel like recently I've been doing mostly After Effects and then animating in Photoshop, but would like to do more stop motion. I kind of feel like there's been points in my career, like when I was first starting, where I think with anyone, when you're first starting, you're just reaching out to anyone and everyone. And then I think once you kind of get your career more established and you've worked with a lot of people, it kind of becomes like a pretty even flow of work coming in. And then of course, like sometimes you hit dry spells, sometimes you have way too much work. But in the moments where I do hit like a place where especially if I've taken off like some time to work on a personal project and I've then turned down a bunch of jobs, I think it creates this wall of like, okay, then no one's contacting me now, and you're like, oh no, now I need money. So then you can just, email people and be like, I'm looking for work. And usually, but I've been doing this for like 11 years or something will usually come up. I graduated in 2006 and I went to school in Virginia. So
Yeah, I'm
there,
from Indiana, so this is where
right.
this is coming from.
Yeah, there really wasn't. There are a few places to do work in Richmond, and I think there's more now. But when I graduated, there's the Martin Agency there, and I interviewed with them, but it wasn't really like a fit because I didn't really want to work at an ad agency. So I actually stayed in Richmond for a year after I graduated and just like waited tables because I had like no idea like what to do. And the school that I went to, my professors were great, but they definitely encouraged. It was definitely like a very fine arts focused program where basically aside from teaching us how to build a website or like going to graduate school, like I didn't really feel like there was a lot of guidance in terms of like, I think maybe there were for some other students, but for what I wanted to do, I didn't really know what to do. But we had there's a film festival there called the James River Film Festival, and I had gone to it every year when I was in school, and I met an animator who lived in New York one year that I went. Her name's Martha Colburn. She's like a huge influence on me, and I contacted her when I wanted to move to New York, and she put me in touch with a couple different studios. So it was really nice to have that contact. My first year in New York, through Martha, I was working at an animation studio, and I liked it, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. We were doing a lot of animation for like science shows and things like that, and I definitely, like, using After Effects every day was really good for me, like from a practical standpoint. Just every day from like 10 to 6 doing that was like, I definitely learned a lot, but it really wasn't what I wanted to be doing, and I quit. And that's right when like the Wall Street like crash happened, and I couldn't find like anything for like a few months. And then I started working as an artist assistant for an artist, and I hated it so much. I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really understand, and I think this is from my background. I didn't understand there was this like whole world in New York. I think I did kind of, but I didn't really want to be involved of like advertising production studios where you could like go and work as a freelance animator or designer or whatever and actually get paid like a decent living doing that stuff until I actually started working at Passion Pictures, which prior to that I had occasionally worked for some different bigger animation studios, but prior to that I had mostly done documentary, like music video kind of animation. So I think once I started working at Passion and meeting a lot of people is when things just became like a lot easier because I had a lot more support working there, like help like with managing things and getting jobs and working with producers and like working with a bigger team of people and just meeting other people that were super talented in different areas, I guess. I don't know, does that answer your question? But I think that was, I had been in New York for like 5 or 6 years before that happened. And also like prior to that I had emailed people and people wouldn't write me back, or I had just done a couple jobs and I would just send out like emails to people being like, I want to be a director, having had like no experience working at any of these studios, and the people at Passion were just like, okay. So that was really, really nice that happened. But, and I think too, just touching on it, now I see like with a lot of these production studios and how they work is like they represent directors, they have like rosters and stuff. And while I was at Passion, I'm not trying to shit talk or anything, but while I was at Passion, I was the only female director on the roster, and I feel like it is sort of, unfortunately, it's like mostly all ladies in here, but there is a disproportionate amount of female directors, so I think more ladies should be trying to do that, because, yeah, it's not fun to just be like the only one, and then all the dudes get the jobs. Oh, yeah, that was actually the first job, or the first studio that I worked with when I moved to New York. It was a place called Asterix Animation, and a project that we worked on together there was nominated for an Emmy. It was for, it's really bright. It was a project we did for PBS called Curious. It was like a science show that we did. Yeah, I think it just depends. Still, like, I'll get contacted from different studios to come in and work as like a 2D animator or as a motion graphics person. So I kind of feel like no matter what, people are gonna, or everyone's looking for like a certain aesthetic for things. But then, yeah, I guess after, trying to think. I don't know. I feel like when I first started working, I made it a priority to always work on my own stuff, and I think that maybe that's why there's like a cohesiveness. I feel like sometimes things just take longer than you think they're going to take, and that's definitely true of my experience. I thought that you know, if I moved to New York and started working, everything would just fall into my lap in like a year or something, and like.
Well, I don't believe that, but
Yeah.
it's been 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess sometimes things just take longer than you think, and I think if you just keep working at it, then.
I guess I just keep blaming myself.
No, don't do that. Don't blame yourself. No, I think if you love doing something, and you should just keep doing it because you enjoy doing it, and eventually I think good things will happen. Yeah, I feel like mostly when I'm working on client work, at least, like most of the projects, I try to just do like one thing at a time, just because the process of, like right now I'm doing a film for the New York Times, so it's like, if I'm just doing that, I really don't have time for anything else, and I really like to I don't like to have like too much going on at the same time, because I really hate feeling really spread thin. And I'm still trying to work on the children's book while I'm doing this, but definitely not as, I haven't really done that much on the children's book, to be honest. But right now I feel like this film is due at the end of July. So I'm kind of like, well, I'll focus on this until the end of July, and then when I have August, then I'm going to switch gears and try and focus on this other project, because, yeah, I don't really like switching between a lot of different things. I feel like it's kind of draining.
That was an awesome talk, though.
Thanks, guys. Yay.